I am live. Almost a minute in. So, just wanted to share out, always sharing out stuff. I just kind of popped in my head. I thought I kind of want to do a live, wasn't sure what to do. And I thought, you know what, I've got a bunch of really cool Metal Blade. I guess they would be considered deluxe editions. This is not a vinyl share. This is CD with, I guess, mostly DVD and Blu-ray extras. But I guess I really didn't realize how many I had, so I thought this would be kind of cool to share out. Um, what I thought was I can't think of another company that does a better job at doing a deluxe CD set compared to Metal Blade. I know there's big, hyper expensive deluxe editions that you get your records and you'll get a T-shirt in there and all the extras like what Kiss has done and Metallica and plenty of other bands, Rolling Stones. But as far as like a small, pretty economical, usually 2-3 CD, some live material extras in it, I can't think of a company who does a better job of that than Metal Blade Records. So I thought we'd just go ahead and share out. Of course, I'm probably missing a bunch. I actually, even after I pulled some, I went back and found a few others. So if you have any in your collection, or that there's some that I don't have, I might not even be aware of, by all means, please share that in the links down below in the messages. Most of these have been around for probably a good 10 years plus. I'm not sure of too many that Metal Blades has released in more recent years. Maybe they've gotten away from this, but maybe they will continue to in the future to put out some more, because I really enjoy these. So let's see. I don't think there's anybody on yet, but I guess before I get into that, just a few CDs, record that I've been playing just in the last day or so. Today, got home, felt like a little Christmas music, a little Helix, a Helix Christmas. This was released on No Life Till Metal 2018, and most of the tracks on here had been released years earlier, I believe on a CD, so it wasn't all new for this particular release, but a good mix of some traditional and some more modern day Christmas stuff. So Helix, good band from the 80s and 90s. A band that I don't know much about. I picked up this CD years ago, but hadn't listened to it in years and played it last night, and I just love it. UK band, Tyson Dog. I believe this was their first release. I do believe they have one or two after this. Not the easiest band to get material, find their CDs and records. I don't think these have been repressed on vinyl since their original releases. So if you are not familiar with Tyson Dog, this is Beware of the Dog. Fantastic. I don't think it was mid 80s, maybe early to mid. So I think it was like maybe an 83, 84 release. But anyway, for British heavy metal, very, very cool album. And then kind of went back and revisited some very early UFO. This is a comp of their first two studio albums, UFO 1, UFO 2, and then their live release, which has been repackaged tons of times. But they crammed all three on a 2 disc, and just really good early. All right. We get into the good stuff here. The reason why I'm doing this video, and that is the Metal Blade releases. So going alphabetically, I'm going to start with Seraphangul, Servants of Chaos. And so this one is more kind of a comp of their, I believe, material from their first 4 albums. So it's two CDs worth of material, disc 1, disc 2, and then the bonus DVD is from 1984, live at Wolf and Vismiller's Country Club, November 9th, 1984. It's maybe 9 tracks, 8 or 9 tracks on there, but usually, packaging's usually digipack, but relatively sturdy for the most part, and usually nestled in the front sleeve, usually you'll have a book, whether it's lyrics or additional pictures from whatever time period, the particular album or comp covers. And so usually, once again, you're getting your money's worth. I think this one was running probably about $35 when it first came out, but you can typically get it, eventually it would have gone down in price a little bit. Next up, now I've got a bunch of releases from Fates Warning, but this is one that I have that came in a deluxe edition, repress, and this one is Perfect Symmetry. And again, this is 2 CDs and a bonus DVD, and they really crammed in a bunch onto the DVD. So disc 1 is just the regular album, probably remastered. Get that. And then disc 2 is some demo cuts, and it says the demos, and then you got the bonus DVD, which there's so much on here. I'm not going to go through each and every show, but a lot of them are just they may have been opening up for other bands, so it may only be like 5 or 6 songs. But there's a show from Allentown, 89, Texas from 1990, a show from the Netherlands, 89 again, a track or two from a few other places. Looks like a few from Connecticut, 1989. So it's all around the time period that this particular album came out, and then they've got a promotional video for Through Different Eyes. So some of these have gotten probably kind of tough to get. I mean, you might be able to find a used copy on Discogs, but as far as getting a brand new copy, if somebody has it still sealed, chances are you're going to be paying a hefty price for it, but they're worth it if you can find them. Next up, Flotsam and Jetsam, Doomsday for the Deceiver. Obviously, classic first album. Kind of wish they would have gone this route, and also done their second album, which I'm having a brain cramp here, forget the name of it, but you guys, you know the one with the guys and the swords. So this one, first disc, Doomsday for the Deceiver, obviously, again, remastered. This was the 20th anniversary edition. 2 demo tracks on it, and then we've got, so that's actually, these ones not a digipack, so you actually have your standard CD booklet, and we've got disc 1 and disc 2, and artwork. And disc 2 also says Doomsday for the Deceiver. It is remixed and remastered, and again, there's the bonus tracks are actually their Metal Shock 1985 demo, which I was able to get a copy of on vinyl recently. I don't remember. I think it was maybe a bootleg release. It definitely wasn't Metal Blade. So you got that, and then of course, as I mentioned, the bonus DVD. Which that's what the demo album cover looked like that I got recently on vinyl. And so yeah, a good amount of live stuff on that. So very cool. Again, I would love to see their second album released with all those extras. Next up, Hallows Eve, History of Terror, another thrash band, and this one covers their early stuff. So disc number 1 is Tales of Terror, remastered, and Death and Insanity. So they've got both of those crammed onto disc 1, and then also some rehearsals from 1984. Looks like 2 tracks, The Mansion and Metal Prisoners. And then disc number 2 is their third album, Monument, and that one also has some additional demo material and rehearsals. It's got their first demo, Tales of Terror, and rehearsals from 1984. CD2, so both of them are in that case. And then there is a disc 3, and a disc 4 in Live Terror. So the disc 1 is just live on CD. So again, we're getting kind of a mix from, let's see, CBGB's 1985 and Maryland 85, Swizzle's York, Pennsylvania 86, and then 2 tracks from Montreal, Canada from 85. So a pretty good mix. The 80s from the band, and then again another DVD that spans, looks like maybe some of the same live locations from the CD. We got the DVD. I'm seeing that Sizzles, York, PA, and Middletown, New York, but maybe some additional. I see Poughkeepsie, New York, and then also Brooklyn, New York. So some additional live footage on here that's not on the CD. Next up, a band that I discovered because of Metal Church. I wish I had one of these for Metal Church, but band Heretic. So Mr. Howe, who came on board for Metal Church, had started off here with these guys. So got a cool hype sticker there. U.S. Metal Cult Band with Mike Howe, Metal Church. The material on here has been remastered. Again, disc number 1. Got Breaking Point, which is the album with Mike Howe on it. And it's got the original 10 tracks and then some additional bonus tracks, maybe a remastered, a few live tracks. You can see Mike right there in the center. CD. So that one's just that one album, and then we've got the EP, Torture Knows No Boundary. But this disc is a CD, and the CD actually has some additional. So it's got the Torture Knows No Boundary, and again, there's a bunch of unreleased stuff live, some remixes on there. It's actually been a while since I've played this. I need to go back and revisit these guys. And again, Metal Blades does a fantastic job with just getting their hands on some old footage. A lot of times it's not, even though this is DVD, we're not looking at VHS here, but a lot of times it's not the best quality. But sometimes you'll get a concert where it's pretty good, and others where it looks like somebody from the back of the club was recording it, and you'd get a better recording on a phone nowadays. But it's still great to be able to see that vintage live performances from bands like these. So if you're in a Metal Church and you've not checked out Heretic band, definitely worth checking out if you're into that just traditional metal from the mid to late 80s. Next up, Hex, a band that is kind of started off more maybe thrash speed metal, and they've kind of they went death metal for a while. I'm not sure what they're playing at this point, but regardless of what they're playing, they're a great band. Another one I would recommend checking out. So let's see here with these guys. We've got, try to make sure I get their first one going, which is Under the Spell. So we've got Under the Spell and some new songs that were recorded in 2014. Looks like 2 of them, and then also has Under the Spell demo. Doesn't show how many the tracks on there, but it does. It says right there that demo is included. So we've got Under the Spell, new songs, and the demo on that CD. And we open this up to a DVD, which we've got there. And just running through some of that, we've bonus DVD, HOA 2015. So the band when they got back together. Keep It True 2014. Live in Oakland, California. Live in American Victoria Museum 1986. Live at the Stone in San Francisco, Quest for Sanity record release, Chatterbox in San Francisco, 1990, and then two separate live performances in the beginning of 1990. So, I mean, you're probably looking at like an hour and a half minimum of recorded footage on that DVD. And then CD number two, which would be their second release, No Escape. And that again, we've got a remastered tracks 1 through 9, then a radio spot, Paradox demo from 1983, Up from the Grave demo 2013, and then a few tracks live from 2015. So, even if you had the original, whether on CD or record, if you're into this band, how could you pass up that? You're not going to get all that material anywhere else. So, again, you get 2 CDs, a DVD, and then there was also a booklet where those other releases didn't have. Of course, you need a microscope or something to maybe you'd use your phone, take a picture, and blow it up. But writing's kind of small, but there's pages and pages of articles, and I'm sure there's interviews in here and pictures of the guys from back in the day and photos from probably more recent, some of their flyers from their shows. So again, if you're into bands like this, thrash, speed metal, you love the 80s and early 90s stuff, these are the sets you want to get your hands on. Can't talk about Metal Blades in the 80s, early 80s without talking about Lizzie Borden. This one was Master of Disguise, and this one got the big set treatment also. So Master of Disguise, remastered, a few bonus tracks, Vampire Kiss and the Orchestra, and let's see, so that is disc number 1. So if that one's not loaded up, but you really don't need much more than that studio album, and it's got a few bonuses there. And then the DVD is the making of the Master of Disguise, so you get all the footage, background, just them in the studio and getting ready for their tour. And then disc 2 is actually not a CD, but it is a repress or re-release of the Murderous Metal Roadshow Live, which I don't know if that's had ever been released on DVD before. You certainly were able to get that on VHS, and it might have been released on CD. I never owned that one, but so it was great to be able to get that on DVD. And so there's 15 tracks, some special features, John Bush interviews, Lizzie Borden photo gallery, and the discography. It's about 97 minutes total. I got a few more to show here. Again, if anybody's watching this later and there's any of these sets that you have or that that Metal Blades release that maybe I missed out on, just drop a comment in, and for anybody else who watches this, also for myself, because I'd love to track down more. Okay, next up is Live. This was the original release, so this is not a re-release like a lot of those others, but this is Man of War's Hell on Stage Live. This came out in, I think, the mid-90s. Cool feature. Came with a live CD additional, so we'll look at that in a moment. So we've got the 2-disc Hell on Stage Live. New artwork, I believe, by Ken Kelly, who did a lot of their album covers. And I'm not going to show the CD because I don't want to get censored, either one of those. But you can use your imagination. If you know Man of War, there's some stuff even there on that gets you in trouble with the censors. And then the additional Live, it's just a short kind of EP, Live in Germany. Let's see if it shows which tracks. It's got Kings of Metal, recorded live in Germany. One of their German songs, which I'm not going to try and pronounce. And then Metal Warriors also. So all of them obviously recorded live in Germany, hence why it's called Live in Germany. Got the plastic case. I guess we're not going to call that a digipack. That's just the case. Okay, next up, a little prog metal. Uh, Band I remember hearing about a long time ago, but it took a long time before I found any of their albums. I think it was their fourth release that I was able to pick up, and it was independently released, and really enjoyed it. Kind of, had that maybe Dream Theater-ish, but different, maybe a little, I don't know, a little more unconventional, not as structured, but Psychotic Waltz. Fantastic band. So Metal Blade did 2 releases on these packaged just like this. I didn't get the other one. This one, oddly enough, they released their first studio album and their third studio album, and then the other one had their second and their fourth. Well, because I had their fourth one, The Bleeding, already on CD, I went with this one. Plus, I really wanted to get my hands on their first one, which is A Social Grace, and I believe that is the original album cover. It might have been touched up a little bit, but I never had the original record or CD. And so we got the CD, picture of the guys there. And let's see. So Social Grace, 13 tracks. So it's the original release, again, remastered. And then on the back side of the case, I'm trying to open this up without busting the plastic, we've got another DVD. And this one is the bonus DVD's got a video clip for the song Faded, the track My Grave, and it has a Social Grace CD release from San Diego, 1991. And the second disc in this set is their third album, Mosquito, which the album artwork, I know who did that artwork, and my brain is not recalling the name right now, but very famous artist, I believe, out of the UK, who's done a bunch of, I think, Dave McKean, I believe that's his name. Really cool artwork, very just odd stuff, but very, very cool. And this one's 10 tracks, no additional material on it, but again, sometimes just getting the actual albums, that's all you need. For some of these, it's great having the add-ons, the demo stuff, the live material. But ultimately, I'm happy just getting the original material. Last up, one of my favorite bands, and that shouldn't be a surprise because if you've seen my logo, I have it should be up in the corner on my page. Vinyl Vengeance. I've used the logo from Voivod. Love Voivod ever since I listened to Dimensional Hadros and Nothing Face. Just never looked back after that. Was already into Metallica and other thrash bands, but Voivod just had a sound of their own. And so actually I hadn't listened to War and Pain until I got my hands on this set. So going back that far to their beginning, I think I'd gone back to maybe their third album and then everything that was coming after Nothing Fades. But War and Pain, really, really great set here. And I know that a lot of their other albums have been released in with bonus material, I think through Noise Records. So they did a relatively good job too, but I don't know that their releases necessarily touch on this set. So we've got the original War and Pain, remastered, tracks 1 through 10. And this also includes some of their demo material. I don't think you'll be able to read all of that. Try and get that set up there. So Acronism, which is their 1983 demo, and To the Death, their 19... actually, I'm not seeing a date on that one, but that was their the session for the Metal Massacres 5, where they I don't know if it was Condemned to the Gallows or Voivod, but there were a few tracks that they recorded, and Metal Blade used at least one of those. So you got a bunch of additional additional demo stuff on there. And then you've got disc number 2, which is some more demo. Actually, I believe live. I take that back. It's live. So we've got Morgoth Invasion, which is a live demo from December 1984. 16 tracks. Of course, you're going to have your Venom cover in there, and all their classics from the first album, and probably I believe there's got to be some from their second LP too, because they didn't have that many to be able to pull out 16. And then there's a enhanced version, so you can stick that DVD in your computer, and there's biography, there is let's see, comments, lyrics, sounds, video clips, picture art, wallpaper, screensavers. I don't know if any of that stuff's going to work on if that would work on the current computers. And actually, I take that back. All that material, other than the Morgoth Invasion, that's on disc 2. All that other stuff I mentioned is on a separate disc. So this is actually a third disc. Just says Warren Payne bonus disc, and that's the one that has all the computer crap on it, which I should stick it in later and check to see if any of that'll work on my computer. So that's the last of the CD stuff. I guess one for good measure that I'll kind of throw up, that's something I have gotten more recently, but it wasn't released in the last few years. It had been actually a long time since I had listened to this band. I had a bunch of their earlier stuff and kind of forgotten about them. And Scott Waters has been hyping 6 Feet Under quite a bit recently, and there's some re-releases on, I think it's going to be sold on Boone's Overstock. So I picked up the box set of 6 Feet Under, A Decade in the Grave, and it's actually got quite a bit to it. It's the first two discs are just kind of a mishmash, or I guess you could say like a greatest of their, I believe, like their first 6 albums. And so yeah, not chronologically, they're just all mashed together. No rhyme or reason to those. But you get the booklet, or not the booklet, but the digi case here. And again, the first 2 discs are just a mix of their studio stuff. Disc 3 is rarities, so you're getting some demo stuff. Let's see, some stuff from the True Carnage sessions, Maximum Violence live material, live stuff out of San Francisco, more live stuff out of San Francisco. So that's disc 3. Disc number 4, where I'm not seeing disc 4 there. It goes right over. There it is. Disc number 4. The years before CD. So that one is demo material. So looks like actually some demo stuff from pre-Cannibal Corpse. So we're looking at 1987 and 1986. So Leviathan, the band that eventually morphed into Cannibal Corpse. And then disc number 5 is videos, some live footage in 2005 from Berlin, and Live with Full Force 2004. And so pretty cool box set. You've got booklet. Actually, not a booklet. This is a poster. So I guess a poster of the album cover, the box set cover. Let's see if I can do this without tearing it. So we've got full size Decade in the Grave. We have a sticker, nice and glossy, 6 Feet Under logo with the blade around the edges, and then a pretty decent booklet. Lots of photos. I got right there, Alan West, which some of you might recognize from Obituary. He had been the guitar player for Obituary for a few years, and then got the boot and came on board. I think for 6 Feet Under's second album. I don't know, first and second one, and then he was gone. So, bunch of pictures. There's information about where the songs come for each CD and where they were recorded, if they're live. So again, this a little bit different than the other stuff that I was showing, because this is more of a box set, where those others, yes, they're kind of box sleeves or sleeve sets, but I can't say enough good things about this stuff. So Metal Blade, yay. You know, they did a great job of putting together all those comps back in the 80s, and they've just released such great metal talent through the decades. And I love seeing these sets and being able to discover bands that I missed during the 80s, just with such a wealth of extra stuff involved in it. So I'm not getting any kickbacks from Metal Blade. So they, I don't work for them, and they didn't put me up to this. I'm just sharing out something that I enjoy. And so if you guys, if you have any of these sets, if there's one's your favorite, or you have one or two favorites of these. Again, if there's any that I've missed that you know of, drop a message down below. I appreciate anybody that'll give likes and share this, whatever. I'm not doing it for anything other than just for fun, but I appreciate you guys watching, and as I've said before, I enjoy watching other people's videos and lives, and so hope you're all doing well. We got the weekend coming up. Have a great weekend. Be safe. God bless everybody, and till next time, peace.